What's up, guys? Let me wait for the... I don't know why. XSplit's MP4 encoding is really weird. It always starts off... it always starts off really funky like this, where the color is all messed up. But anyways, it's time to answer some questions. Yes, I have the same shirt on. I just woke up. I haven't showered yet since yesterday. That information is out. I got my coffee here. It's very good. So let's answer some questions. First question is, what do you know / feel about EVE Online? That was probably loud. So EVE Online, you know, it's always a game I've been incredibly interested in, but I've never wanted to play it. The reason I've been incredibly interested in it is because it is the one game that is completely open to do whatever you want. There's some awesome stories about how people have infiltrated a guild or an alliance or something like that, and then become best friends with the people at the top for 6 months or something like that, and then just utterly destroyed them, taking all of their money, screwing them over, destroying their biggest ships, and that's awesome. I mean, that's incredible. The stories are so awesome to read. There's one where the guy took the equivalent of a couple $1,000. I think it was like $15,000 or $20,000 of in-game currency from this alliance, and that is incredible stuff to read. How do I feel about the game? You know, playing the game, you don't actually... to start off with the game... Sorry, my voice is a little rasped this morning. To start off with the game, you can basically set it and forget it. Because the game plays itself in a sense. You set things up to where you can log out and the game is still going, so you're still accruing resources, at least from my understanding of it. The other thing too is that game is incredibly hard. There's so many complex systems at hand that you have to understand to really be involved in. So I loved reading about it. I probably would never play it. I've tried multiple times and lost interest within 10 minutes because of how complex a lot of those systems are. But if you haven't read any of the controversy about that game, in terms of some of the stuff people have done in it, just go Google it. The stories are incredibly awesome, and it's really awesome. We'll see. I know that they have a... Hold on one second. I know that they have a expansion or something coming out soon where it's going to be first person. You can actually control an avatar. That might already be out. I don't know all that much about it, but yeah, that's EVE Online. Thanks for the question. I noticed you have a team from Ropotam, by the way. I noticed you have a Team Dignitas poster in the background. Are you a big Dignitas fan or a specific player, just the whole team? Or is it more of a random Starcraft 2 esports poster? Thanks, you're awesome. No, you're awesome. Yeah, I mean, I love Dignitas. I'm good friends with Odie. Select is a pretty good friend of mine. He's an awesome player, one of my favorite players to watch. Haven't seen that much of him because he's been over in Korea. I haven't talked to him at all either. But it's honestly just a random poster. These were made at the beginning of... When did I move in here? I want to say these were made in July or August. So at the time, you know, Naniwa was really hot on MLG. MMA, I think, had just won an event or gotten second at it. He was blowing up. And Losira got second or first or something at MLG. So that's kind of why those guys are there. But yeah, Dignitas is a great team. I love the players on the team. And it's kind of funny that I have a poster of Naniwa wearing a Team Dignitas jersey because he's no longer on Team Dignitas. But anyways, let's see. What would you say your playstyle is broadly across all games? Do tend to be your head or sneaky? Oh, Jesus, this is hard to read. Do tend to be head on or sneaky? Brute force or finesse, that kind of thing? Or are you just pragmatic and do whatever you can to win? I can always imagine he's a pragmatist. Pragmatist? Love the show, JC. Thanks, Jesus Christ. I love you too. I would actually just say I do whatever I can to win. It kind of, I feel like my playstyle changes. I try to be the quote unquote best thing in the game, and I try to find that out on my own. When I played Skyrim, for example, I immediately went dual wield because I felt like that was going to be awesome, and then I found out that Elemental Fury, to geek out here, made your attack speed really fast. That was awesome, and then I got blacksmithing. Or actually, I got blacksmithing and then Elemental Fury because I didn't find that glyph till later on. But turned out it was one of the fastest ways to kill people in the entire game. I kind of got lucky with that. In Starcraft 2, I played random. I would guess I guess I was kind of a cheesy player when I did play random. I would do the popular builds. Yeah, and wing them that way. I always kind of lost in the late game, especially ZVZ. Now that I play Zerg primarily, I'm not all that cheesy, but I definitely still have problems in the long game. And in general, I typically, for a while there, I played ranged characters, mostly magic based, in all the RPGs I played. But now I've been playing a lot of like up close fighter characters, like whether it's a rogue or a dual wielding warrior or something like that. In fighting games, I prefer rushdown characters. I don't know. I'm still kind of filling that out as I'm playing through Street Fighter. Still learning the game, so to speak. What other type of games are there? Puzzle games I'm pretty bad at, to be honest. If I can't solve something quickly, I usually get pretty frustrated with it very, very fast. So I can't play puzzle games all that much. Yeah. I hope I answered your question. What's your opinion on Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition 2012 as a game? I was talking with Mike Ross and Gutex yesterday, kind of about some future plans that we're going to be doing together. And I found myself saying that, to me, Street Fighter 4 is harder to learn than Starcraft 2. And they both found that really interesting that I said that. But I feel like my involvement in fighting games is so little that, for me personally, it actually is a harder game than Starcraft 2. Now, I'm not saying at the highest levels that Starcraft 2 is probably a harder game at the highest tip-top levels than Street Fighter. But Street Fighter is damn hard. If you've never played a fighting game, go pick it up and try to learn the game, or try to play the game online. You'll get destroyed. But overall, it's a fun game. I love it. I love watching people play. And now that I kind of understand a little bit more about it, I'll definitely have a lot more fun watching people play because I appreciate the fact that they are that good at the game. Yeah, Super Street Fighter 4 is awesome. I'll probably be doing a lot more content with that as well on my YouTube channel. So there you go. Thanks for the question. What do you think about the death of 1UP and the best podcast of all time, GFW Radio? Also, do you listen to the Comedy Button? I do not know what the Comedy Button is. I might listen to an episode of it now that you suggested it. The death of 1UP. You know, I used to love 1UP. I would watch the 1UP show every Friday. It was incredible to watch that. Very awesome stuff. This was kind of before I jumped on the Giant Bomb website, but it was also before Giant Bomb was blowing up, really. I still watched both, but GFW Radio, man, they that and the Bombcast are actually the reasons that State of the Game, ArenaCast, and a lot of stuff I do exists. It is one of the best, if not the best podcast I've ever listened to. Jeff Green and Sean Elliott are some of the funniest guys I think I've ever heard talk. And if you've never watched an episode, or listened to an episode, it's an audio-only podcast, except I think they did a couple video episodes. The last episode is definitely a video episode, or can be a video episode. But it is some of the funniest stuff. There's so many awesome highlights for that show. And I was devastated. Me and my brother both were. We listened to it religiously and would laugh about the jokes afterwards. But I was very devastated when they canceled it. I listened to, what was the name of the show? There was the show that I forgot, that Sean Elliott started up after that. It had Jeff Green. It had Robert. It had Ingai Kroll. And there's someone else on it. But 1 second. I have to give someone Skype. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's an awesome episode, or awesome podcast. There are just so many funny things about it, and it really hit me hard in the last episode when I saw how affected those guys were by ending the show. I hope that one day State of the Game can be in the position where all 5 of us are in the same room. It really ups the communication level and the glue of a podcast just so much. You know, we do it over Skype right now, and when we did it audio only, you could definitely tell that when we switched to video and we were able to see each other, it changed a lot. And I think if we were there in person, it would change everything. So yeah, I cannot say enough good things about GFW Radio. It's Games for Windows Radio. I'm pretty sure you can find all the episodes archived somewhere. They might be on iTunes. I'm not exactly sure, though. Go check it out, though. Even if it's old content, even if they're talking about old stuff, there's still some incredible discussions there. And what was that segment? There was a segment that Sean Elliott would do from time to time. I think it was Heroes of the Web or something like that, where he would just go and find some obscure website and still talk about it and read about it in Ralphie's voice. Go watch the podcast. It's awesome. All right, what are your thoughts on some countries getting the short end of the video game stick, e.g. prices, servers, availability? As someone who has lived many years both in Australia and Canada, I can say the situation has gotten better, but it still sucks. Yeah, I mean, my thoughts are it sucks for people who live in those countries. I don't live in the U.S. or live in Europe and get the games a couple days later. I don't know. I don't know all about why it sucks or what you can do to fix that, or what the industry can do to fix that, or why the industry does that in the first place. But yeah, I don't really have that much of an opinion on it. It sucks, though. What do you think about Diablo III as a possible esport in the future? I know that Blizzard has said that it wanted to focus on Starcraft 2 in terms of esports. However, this seems like it could attract a completely different crowd. I actually have a lot of thoughts on Diablo 3 as an esport. You know, I played at, not this year, but last year's BlizzCon. This year I had to cast, so I didn't play Diablo 3 at all. But last BlizzCon, myself, Ryan Moore, the head admin for PC at MLG, Lee Chen, one of the senior VPs, and who was our fourth? Oh, and Casey Kramer, who's kind of just now, he's kind of a do-it-all at MLG. He does a lot of stuff. He's very, very important for the day-to-day and kind of long-term stuff at MLG. But we all sat down at BlizzCon in the 3v3 thing. I think collectively between all 4 of us that weekend, we probably spent 50, 60 hours or something there. We had a run where it was like 109 to 3 because we were just sitting at the PCs for 6 or 7 hours because we had pro gamer badges, and I felt really bad for people coming to sit down and play us. As they were learning the game, we were just destroying them because we had already learned everything. Learned the best combos, the best skills, how to like use them in team with each other, and it was a ton of fun. We got to play the developers. We destroyed them. Sorry, devs, you guys got beat at your own game, but it was awesome. In terms of what I think of it as an esport, when we played it, and I have no idea where the game's at now, but when we played it, it was a 3v3 game, which is a perfect size for a tournament. 3 people's not all that much. You can probably run a small tournament with that in terms of computer size. It was awesome. It was one of the most fun times I've had playing a game in a long time. I don't know if Blizzard's going to go down that road. I kind of liken it to Bloodline Champions a little bit. I felt like Bloodline, the PvP could definitely take from Bloodline Champions a little bit. It was awesome, though. It was so much fun to play. I have no idea if it's going to be an esport. If it is, I would love it to be. I think that game's going to have a huge audience for it. And if they do it right, which is really hard to do in a consistent game like that with items and whatnot, but if they have pre-made characters on a tournament server or something like that, it'd be fun. There's a lot of little things that you have to consider when it comes to games like that for it to be an esport that sometimes it doesn't work because you have to balance it, which is one of the hardest things of all time. I mean, Starcraft 2 has obviously had its problems with that, and almost any competitive game will have its problems with that. But I hope that it is an esport. But we'll see. Who knows what? There's so much changing with Diablo 3, and there's so much that really hasn't been said about it. So, what do you think has been the biggest controversy in StarCraft 2 or in the community? In terms of just raw numbers, I felt like the Naniwad GSL situation was probably the biggest, because that was crazy. I mean, that each day something new came out about that for almost a week, and it was absolute insanity for the number of views and hits that websites were getting for that. What do I think is personally the biggest controversy? I don't know. I don't really have an answer for that. Definitely the Naniwad GSL situation, though, in terms of just raw numbers. So, yeah. That was kind of a shitty answer. I apologize. If you could be a StarCraft unit, what unit would you be? Probably be a zealot. Fun in the early game. You get charge. You can charge people. It'd suck if an air unit came and attacked me. Well, it'd either be a zealot or a phoenix, because if I was a phoenix, I could just be really annoying and harass people and run away if I was going to die. I don't know, zealot or a phoenix. If I had to choose one right off the top of my head right now, I'd probably go with zealot, though. Do you play Battlefield 3? What do you think of it? I played Battlefield 3 a ton when it came out, and then there's this weird thing that happens when I go on trips where I'll leave playing a game, constantly thinking about a game, and I'll get back and I won't want to play it at all for some reason. It's happened with World of Warcraft before, and it happened with Battlefield 3. I haven't played it all that much. I probably put 60 or 70 hours into it the first 2 weeks it came out. Was super excited about it. Played the beta a whole lot, and I haven't played it since. What do I think of it? I absolutely love the game. I think they rebooted that entire series the right way. The engine for it is incredible. I love playing it. I love watching videos of it. I just haven't, and I don't know why. There's a lot of other stuff that I play right now. I play a lot of Dota 2, and Dota 2 takes up a lot of time. But yeah, I absolutely love Battlefield 3. And I think it's a great game. Can you do a really evil laugh? I don't think so. No, I don't think I can. I'm trying to think if I've ever done an evil laugh. No. I'm sorry. I don't think I can. Have you had the chance to play Tribes Ascend yet? Do you know anything about their plans for going to esports? What expectations, hopes for? Do you have it? Thanks for providing this awesome content. Thank you for watching. Yeah, I got into the Tribes Ascend beta. I think I bought it. Because if you buy it, you get into it. I think that's how I got into it. I have played it probably collectively for 3 or 4 hours total. It's a fun game. Skiing is really hard. It's a completely different skill when it comes to learning, and you have to learn it on your own. I don't know. Skiing is really, really hard. I equate it to trick jumping and Quake, and glitching in Halo. It's really unique to that game. It's awesome. I love how fast it is. Yeah. Do you know anything about their plans going for esports? I have no idea. I know that they're involved with NASL. I've heard that that's CTF based. I don't know the team size, whether it's going to be 5v5 or 3v3. What are my expectations / hopes for it? I hope it does well. We need an FPS based game in esports, and Tribes 2 was awesome to watch. Or was awesome to watch videos of. I never watched a live match. I don't know how that game is going to be translated to when it comes to spectators. It might be really hard to watch, but I hope it does well. We need a game, an FPS on the PC to use for tournaments, and hopefully Tribes is that game. Have you eaten at the spot? It's right there on the seawall. They have excellent fried pickles. No, I've seen that place. I haven't gone into it though. I drive by it probably 3 or 4 times a week. There's a lot of places in Galveston that I haven't been, mostly because I'm usually always just kind of in my apartment, to be honest. So they have excellent fried pickles. I'm not the biggest fried pickles fan, but maybe I'll go and tell them that someone online sent me. I don't know. I guess you live around here, though. That's kind of crazy that you know what the spot is. What do you think of the Casters Old Boys Club, i.e. every event having to be cast by Day 9, etc.? Nothing against Day 9. I think there's something to be said about the Old Boys Club in the sense that when you have Day 9 come out to an event, you're not only having him cast the event, but you're also bringing his entire fan base. You're bringing his brand to whatever he's casting. And that is something that is really, really important. Because if there's, for example, 2 tournaments going on, one has Day 9, one doesn't. Day 9's followers, which is a huge, huge populace, is going to watch the tournament that he's casting, and probably not the other one. I think what you're kind of speaking to is the fact that the top casters don't change that much, and it's incredibly, incredibly hard to break into the scene. That's definitely true. I feel like that the MLGs, the IPLs, the GSLs, the IEMs, and the DreamHacks are always going to kind of have the same casters because they're the biggest names in the world. They are the names that will put more eyes on the tournament, and for a tournament to throw money at something like that it's very valuable. It's a good way to spend money in a sense when you're on a tight budget. Getting a new caster up there, I felt like Orb kind of broke through at NASL. Great caster. Mr. Bitter is him and Roddy are an awesome casting duo. Probably one of the only, besides Tastosis, they are one of the only other casting duos in the entire world, and they've kind of broken out. Mr. Bitter really has worked hard. I remember him doing what was the name of his show? Something with the pros. 2 weeks with the pros, or a week with the pros, or something like that. He started off doing that, and from there he kind of got into casting, and he's done it right. I don't know if it's so much as a old boys club rather than an incredibly hardworking group of people who have kind of risen to the top, and they continue to work really hard and stay at the top. There's definitely people that have broken through. Husky, for example, I mean, I remember the first MLG that we cast with him, and people fucking hated him. He went back to kind of doing his own thing. Didn't cast that many tournaments themselves, but he grew his own brand, and now when he goes and casts a tournament, he's also gotten a lot better. He's an incredible caster now. I think it had to do with being comfortable on camera more so than it was just like learning how to cast. But now when he goes to a tournament, he's got all of the Husketeers following him. So it's just like Day 9 where he has the Day 9 brand, Husky has the Husky brand, and he has a ton of fucking people that follow him at a tournament. It's really hard to break in because, like I said, when a tournament hires someone, they want to see a return on the profit for it. They want to have a return on the investment. And ROI is, people kind of use it as a buzzword. And getting someone who's not that big of a caster, I feel like could be used for some smaller stuff. We'll definitely be using some smaller stuff, or we'll definitely be using some quote unquote unknown casters for some smaller stuff this year. Trying to build them up and really make them a bigger name. But there definitely is an old boys club in the sense that you got to know someone to do something, and I feel like that's just true in life. You know, as a journalist, the most important tool that I have, or was always taught to have, is connections and networking. And that's probably why a lot of the people you see at MLG are my friends when it comes to casting, because I know kind of what I like to see on camera, and I have a bunch of friends who cast. So that's why you see those guys there. IPL does a good job at bringing in a lot of talent. You know, they've got Doa, they've got Cat's Pajamas. Cat's Pajamas is another guy that kind of started off doing a bunch of small things and kind of rose to the top. He's a good caster now, so it's definitely possible to break into the scene, but it's really hard. You gotta have, you can't cast one tournament and expect everything to come to you. So I feel like that the old boys club is something that people have, and I'm probably gonna catch a lot of shit for this, but it's something that people have thought up as impossible to break into because they're not willing to put in the work themselves. And that's what I'll say about that. And get a lot of shit for it, probably. Your thoughts on EG cutting players and the shocker that LZ Gamer remains in EG, from Antfu. Thank you for the question, Antfu. You know, I feel like that Scoots said it best on Live on 3. There's more to a player than just winning. If a player is profitable, if he does stuff for the team on a marketing level, that is a good ROI, to use that buzzword again, then it makes sense to keep him on the team. And LZ Gamer must be doing something for the team, because I haven't seen him on any commercials, but he's got to be doing something right. He's really not costing the team anything. You know, he doesn't live in the house. He lives in Louisiana, I think, with his girlfriend/wife. I don't know if they're married. I don't think he's costing the team anything, so that might be why he's still on board. But yeah, go watch Live on 3 episode. It's either 99.5 or episode 100, and Scott talks about that. I think it's 100. Go watch that. Yeah, those are my answers. What did you major in college? I have a major in communication arts, journalism track from the University of the Incarnate Word. Where can I get the tequila gun that you had on the 60th State of the Game, and how much does it cost? Thank you for your time. Love State of the Game. Keep up the great work. Thank you for watching. Phoenix. You can get I got the tequila gun at a local liquor store. What? Los Hijos of something. It's the children of something, I think, is what that translates into. Just Google tequila gun, find the brand, and then check your local liquor store. Sorry, see what this email is. Sorry. Yeah. There you go. A lot of questions get sent in twice. Hey, JP, what happened in the interview with MVP and ST State of the Game thing? That's still going to happen. I've been more than busy and kind of setting that up. And, you know, I started Uncensored last night, which I think I might change change it to a Drink with JP or One versus JP. I don't really like having my name in the title, but it helps with branding purposes, so we'll see. But I think that might live better on that. Interviews on State of the Game sometimes seem really weird. It seems like they don't belong there. It seems like really a complete different thing. I don't really know how to describe it, but it just seems different and weird. So it'll still happen. I don't know where, don't know when, but I still want to do it. The IM coach, Nesty, and MVP are really interested in doing it, so there's interest in both sides. It's definitely going to happen. I don't know when, and I don't know where. I'll let you guys know when I know more. Thanks for the question. Another question from Phoenix. You sent in like 5 questions about the tequila gun. You really want your tequila gun. Are there any plans for State of the Game merchandise? Yes. We're waiting on the logo to be made, which is really starting to piss me off because I'm using a company that hasn't delivered yet. I ordered it. Spoke with them on the 19th, paid them the money. I still haven't seen anything. It's now the 25th, so that is annoying. But once I get that, we'll definitely do some stuff with Handsome Nerd. That's probably who I'll use. Probably do some horse-themed stuff. Put our logo on there. We'll see what else. Let me know what you guys want to see. Throw me a bone on Twitter. Go post in the State of the Game thread. Just let me know, because I definitely want to do some stuff. If you could create a 5-person show, including you, with different hosts in State of the Game, who would you choose? If I could create a 5-person show. Now, you didn't limit me to Starcraft, or you didn't limit me to esports, but I think if I could have any people in the world to do a show, esports related, not just Starcraft 2 centric, it would be myself, DJ Wheat, James Too Good Harding, if I can't use SOTG guests, then Dan would be out. But we need someone for Korea. James would represent Europe. The Korea representative would be, I guess it would be Wani. And then the 5th would probably be a manager. Maybe Sir Scoots on that? I think Scoots. Yeah. Sir Scoots, me, Too Good, Wheat, and Wani or Artosis. Someone from Korea. I think that would be a good show. It's kind of live on 3-esque, but whatever. Will we see any more quick live gameplay uploaded on YouTube from you? Yeah, I might do some more. Maybe this weekend. I don't know if you guys want to see some more. I'll record some more and put it up there. It's fun to play. We'll see. Do you even lift? I don't lift weights. I don't lift. I don't know. Sounds very passive aggressive question there from anonymous. No, I don't lift weights. What do you think about people constantly stating they want to learn, they want esports to grow and love esports, etc., but actually they just mean StarCraft 2 since as a spectator it's another game and it often turns into a flame fest targeting that specific game? Wait a minute, that's a lot of... But actually just means StarCraft 2 since as soon as it's another game it often turns into a flame fest targeting that specific game. Yeah. People are always going to be defensive of their interest. And let them. I mean, don't be one of the guys that turns into the Flame Fest. Let them criticize whatever. Realize that they're criticizing it for that reason and move on. I think there's more to esports than just StarCraft 2. There's got to be, right? But if they just want StarCraft 2 to grow and they support it by putting some money into it, whether it's buying a ticket for GSL or buying an HD pass for IEM or IPL or MLG, then it's fine with me, man. Money says a lot more than just saying, "Hey, let's make esports grow," and love esports. But I understand what you're getting at. It's shitty, but that's the internet. It's kind of a cop-out answer, but it's kind of the truth. Ask JP McDaniel a question. Who are your personal favorite 2 players right now? Also, what more unknown players do you think will make a splash in 2012? Thanks so much for answering. Have a good one, mate. Thank you. TEWNO. Tuno? T1O? Thanks for the question. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. My personal favorite StarCraft 2 players right now. Still like watching 4GG. I want to see Hyun play. MVP's always fun to watch just to see how good he's going to be because he's a fucking great player. Nesty's a lot of fun to watch. Idra's a lot of fun to watch. Huck's good. MC's fun. Marine King's fun. Jokshi's fun. I like watching players that I know will be better the next time I watch them because it's always fun seeing new players and new stuff. What more unknown players do you think will make a splash in 2012? Feast, the IEM kid that got to the semifinals. I think it was Feast. That guy's pretty good, man. Bling definitely will I think make a bigger splash. He's made a pretty big one already because IEM. In terms of Korea, I think Hyun will probably do some big stuff. 4GG, if he can make it out of Code A, I don't know what happened to him. He could probably do some more stuff. He's pretty popular though. In the U.S., there's not really any unknown players that I think will make a big splash. Yeah, that's my answer. Thanks for the question. I don't know if you received my question since I had to register at the site. Anyway, I'm wondering what course/programs you would recommend a team leader to study. I'm leading a up-and-coming Swedish team and thinking about what I should study. Study whatever interests you, man. Don't study something to... The way I approach school is find something that you're interested in terms of schools. Or find something that comes easy to you, because the fact of the matter is the tools which you learn in college they're universal. If you can learn time management, this is the way I look at college at least. If you can learn time management skills, learn how to kind of do things on your own and do them effectively and just basically be able to do everything on your own and also do it in a timely manner. To summarize what I just said, then whatever school of thought you're in, whether it's communication arts, whether it's business, science, whatever, then you're going to be naturally interested in, and you're going to learn what you need to learn just as general things to learn in life that are good to have. As a team leader, I mean, I guess business would probably be the best thing. But if you do something, if you go to school, at least the way I look at it, this is me, not just a general idea. So take that for what it's worth. But to me, if I went to school and I started out as a business major, because I thought, oh yeah, business major, it's a good general degree. I'll just get that. I wasn't interested in it. I didn't care. I didn't want to impress my professors, or it didn't come naturally to me. So I changed my major to communication arts. Writing has kind of always been something it's easy for me to open up a Word document, type something. It could be anything, but it's easy. Yeah. That's my answer on it. As a team leader, I guess business school would probably be best. But like I said, don't go to business school because I told you to go to business school. Do something that completely interests you, because at the end of a day, or at the end of any day, the year, the millennia, The degree itself is worth more than what school it's in, if that makes sense. Simply having a degree opens up so many more doors regardless of what it's in. So, yeah, that's my answer and life lesson. Thank you, Prop Teodice, for the question. Curious what tip you would give an esports man regarding choosing education. I'm currently leader of a serious team. Oh, okay, it's the same guy. I got your question. What is a good question to ask you? I don't know. Ask me anything. I'm leaving that up to you guys. I get the easy part because I get to answer them. You guys have the hard part of asking a question. I've been doing this for about 40 minutes now. We'll do one more. Let's see. I'm going to scroll down some. Someone's asking, can you show us your apartment? Yeah, I'll show it to you. I will be leaving next Wednesday to go somewhere for about a month. So I probably will wait till I get back because I want to clean. The apartment's a mess right now because I've been packing and shipping some stuff. But yeah, eventually I will. All right, here's a question. How hard is it to start a show like State of the Game? I've wanted to do something similar for a while, but I don't normally get viewers when I do live stream anyways. I was talking with some people about this earlier today. There's a saturation of content right now in Starcraft 2 that it is incredibly hard to do something new. And get some eyes on it if you aren't already established. Probably the biggest key to anything is repetition. And it's doing something over and over and over each day, gaining more people and chipping away at the viewer count, getting more people. Setting up a schedule is also good. And just having content that people want to watch. If it's not working for you, if you don't see a rise, then change it. Ask people that watch it right now what they want to see. The best way to grow your viewership is to ask your current viewership what they like and don't like. Because chances are, if they don't like something, a lot more other people aren't going to like it. And try to be as transparent as possible with everything you're doing. If you're changing something, change it, but also just do it. There's so much to be said about just doing something instead of just planning something and then doing it. Perfect example is the uncensored thing. It's not going to be called that, but the interview I put up with Wani, that actually started last night as I was drinking a beer, talking to Wani on Skype. I said, "Hey Wani, let me interview you." He says, "All right." So we talked for 40 minutes. I had no idea what I was doing. Had no plans for what I was going to ask him. I just know that he's a really interesting guy. Has a lot of insight that he hasn't been asked stuff about. And sorry, work messaging me. Yeah, just fucking do it, man. Do whatever you want to do. Make sure it's interesting content. Ask the community what they want to see. And just be consistent. Those are kind of like the guidelines to doing anything. So, in terms of how hard it is to start a show like State of the Game, it's almost impossible as an unknown to get big names on the show. So, unfortunately, you kind of have to do it on your own right now. You kind of have to get an audience on your own until you can start asking people to come on the show. So, yeah. Thank you for the question, guys. Formspring.com/itmeJP. We had a lot of new questions today. Thank you guys for that. Yeah. Follow me on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Check out Twitter, twitter.com/itmeJP. Ask me questions. Otherwise, this content can't exist. And yeah, let me know what you guys want to see. Thanks for watching. I am going to go get some lunch and figure out why I'm so tired even after drinking all this coffee I guess Catch is sleeping up to me. I'm also lightheaded. If I die after posting this video, I love all of you, and it has been a pleasure serving the StarCraft 2 community. We'll see you. Peace.